If you watched my last What Sold video, you know that the 2 weeks of sales that we talked about in that video were atrocious. The most dreadful sales weeks that I think I've ever had. And so I was determined to turn my luck around, and I did that by doing two things. One, I ran sales on a couple of my different platforms, and two, I sent offers. Keep watching to see if that helped or not. Hi everyone, my name is Becky Park and I am a part-time reseller on a variety of different reselling platforms. And in today's video, we're going to be talking about 2 weeks worth of sales across 3 different platforms. And just as a spoiler alert, I did do better than, the sales that I talked about in my previous What Sold video. I didn't do a lot better, but I did do better. I think that running sales, sending offers was pretty effective. I was able to move some items and just get some traction going on my different reselling platforms, which felt really good. So we're gonna go ahead and jump right into the items that sold for me. If you enjoy this kind of content, don't forget to hit that subscribe button, but let's get into it. So the first day of sales that we're gonna talk about is July 23rd, which was a Tuesday, which means that Monday the 22nd, I had 0 sales. But on Tuesday the 23rd on Poshmark, I sold this pair of Talbot's Navy Perfect Skimmer Cropped Career Pants in a women's size 4. These ones were perfect for the office, and they had a little bit of stretch to them given the spandex and the materials. This sold for $10. So I didn't start off with a winner. I think that was actually an offer that came in and I just went ahead and accepted because beggars can't be choosers. I was not making a lot of money, not moving a lot of things, and I was like, I just need to say yes to the dress. Doesn't apply in this context, but I just needed to say yes to offers as they came in to hopefully put myself in the favor of the algorithm gods in the reselling markets. So I said yes, and I said yes because I only had $1 into that item. I picked it up at a local consignment store, and normally this is not the type of thing I'm trying to pick up. Just in general, I feel like career pants by brands like Talbot's and Loft and Express, they're just very saturated, but I picked these up because they were $1. They were part of $1 sale, and I knew even if I wasn't making a ton of money, I could make a little bit of money off of these pants, so I picked them up. Also, they were in a smaller size, a size 4, which, yes, there are women who shop at Talbot's who wear a size 4, but maybe not as many women who wear like a size 10 or a size 12, so the size didn't help matters. I'd had this since 2021. I picked this up in December of 2021, so that just goes to show you how long I had to hold on to this just to make a profit of $6.05. So not my best pickup, but we were making money and I was happy. The next day of sales that we'll talk about was the 26th. So as you can see, on Wednesday and Thursday, the 24th and 25th, no sales, but on Friday the 26th on Mercari, another just huge life-changing sale. It was this pair of New Balance gray lace-up sneakers in a toddler size 11. These were my son's. I had thrifted them basically because my husband has an identical pair, obviously in my husband's size, and I thought it would be so cute for them to have shoes that look similar to each other. And so I got these at a thrift store probably for around like $5, I'm gonna say. And even when I picked them up, they weren't like in the best condition, and then my son wore the crap out of them, and then they really were not like in amazing condition, but I knew that there was still some life left in them. I knew that someone would probably still purchase them secondhand because kids' shoes, you're not trying to wear them for like years and years and years. Kids grow out of these things extremely quickly. So I don't remember how much I had them listed for, but I got an offer on Mercari for $7.50. Now, I was gone when the initial offer came in. I was still on my vacation with my family in Florida. So when I came back and saw that I had an expired offer, I just reached out and was like, I'm so sorry, I was gone on a trip. Are you still interested in these? And if so, I can offer you the same offer that you had sent me. Thankfully, she said yes, so she accepted a $7.50 offer. I'm saying I had $5 into them from the thrift store, even though my son did get a lot of use out of them. And so my huge profit was $2.50. So, winning. And then more $0 sales days. And on the 31st of July, which was a Wednesday, I had a Poshmark sale. And this is when I started making some moves and decided, you know what? I got to take matters into my own hands and I got to either run a sale, send out ridiculous offers, something. And I think the week of the 22nd through the 28th, we were still gone. We were actually still on our trip. And that's why starting on July 31st, when I was able to, when I knew I could ship things out in a timely manner, that's when I decided to run my sale. So if I'm not mistaken, on Poshmark, I sent out offers that were, I want to say either 35 or 40% off. And then I had planned on doing kind of like a tiered sale where I was going to do like 35% off and then the next, maybe 2 days later do like 45% off. And then I think what happened is I forgot. So I don't think I ever got around to sending steeper discounts and sending more offers. And on eBay, I think I did just go ahead and set up, because you can set it up in advance on eBay. I think I set up like a 40% off sale from Wednesday to Friday or something, and then Saturday and Sunday were 50% off. And so there were a good number of sales that came in, and it was a result of me getting proactive and trying to do something about the fact that my sales were so slow. So the first sale that I saw come in, and I was very happy about this one, I don't even remember if I had sent 40% off. I think someone actually just sent me an offer, and that happens sometimes both on Poshmark and eBay. When on Poshmark you send a bunch of offers through the bulk offer sending tool that they have, or if you run a sale on eBay, sometimes you'll find that you just get more offers on things in general too. I feel like it's because of a little gentle boost in the algorithm thanks to the efforts that you are making, but I don't know, because I'm not behind the scenes. I'm just kind of making stuff up to make myself feel better. But I sold on the 31st, which was a Wednesday, on Poshmark, this Tadashi Shoji black pleated sequin cocktail dress in a women's size 10. It had a V-neck, it had cap sleeves. It was gorgeous. I got this at an estate sale last August. So I've had it for a little less than a year. It sold for $75. I had $10.50 into it from that estate sale. I got it during the half off day at the estate sale. And so my net profit on that was $49.50. I wish I could just make sales like this all day, every day. This was such a pretty dress. It was so fun to get to send something like this over to someone and imagine the lavish parties and different events that they'd be going to in this. That's a lot more exciting than, sending someone some Talbot's career pants. But I think a good reselling business has a good mix of the exciting sales and lots of boring sales. Lots of the bread and butter, just kind of keeping your store afloat sales, and I'm okay with that. So that was really fun to be able to sell that and ship that out. The next sale on Poshmark, this one definitely was a result of the offers that I sent out. It was this Eliza J Spanish tile blue and pink half sleeve sheath dress in a women's size 6. This one I sold for $18. I had $3.92 into it from a reseller buyout, and so my net profit on that was $10.48. This is definitely an older Eliza J style of dress. They did, I don't know, maybe even like 6 to 10 years ago, this type of dress from them was very popular. It was either like half sleeve or 3/4 sleeve. It was just kind of like a jersey knit. It was more of like a sheath dress, and it would usually have a nice print to it. It's just a little dated. I think it's still relevant in that this is still something that you can wear to the workplace. It's just not exciting. It's not necessarily something that people are looking for and are wowed by when they see pictures of it come across their feed. So, I'm not surprised that I've had this for a long time. And when I say long time, I mean, God, it's been like 3 or 4 years at this point. So that baby sat in my house for a while. Another dress that sat in my house for a while was this Calvin Klein white cap sleeve belted sheath career dress in a women's size 10. Now, typically speaking, I have really good luck selling Calvin Klein career dresses. In fact, Calvin Klein career dresses is one of the bolos that I put in my 22 women's bread and bolo brands video, because specifically their career dresses and their outerwear can do really well for me. That being said, this one did not. And I was kind of confused as to why. Maybe I just had it priced too high. And this sold on eBay, but it was in a size 10, which is great. I thought it had like a great shape to it. It's nice and neutral colored. Maybe it's because it was white. I don't know. I'm very weary of buying white clothing because I know that I'm going to spill like coffee or spaghetti on it the second I put it on. So maybe that's why. But it sold as a result of I think it was like a 40% off sale for $16.79. It was also promoted at 3%. And I got that at a local consignment store for $1. I think that was part of the same sale where I got those Talbot's career pants that I talked about at the very beginning of this video. So I only had $1 into them, but I had that dress since 2021. So it took me a long time to sell. My profit on that was $11.05, which is better than the Talbot's pants, not by much. So I don't know. I'm still going to pick up Calvin Klein career wear. It's not always going to be a hit. Sometimes you'll have some misses, and it is what it is. Also on the 31st, back to Poshmark, I sold another dress. It looked very similar to the Eliza J dress. It was by the brand Isle by Melise Kazan. It was a long sleeve paisley dress in a women's size small. This one I got from the same reseller buyout that I just talked about. So I had $3.92 into it. It sold for $16 and I made a net profit of $8.88. So you're seeing a trend that this style of dress just not something that people are excited about. They're not willing to pay a lot of money for this style of dress. It's not something that sells very quickly. Again, this dress I had for like 3 to 4 years. So this is not a style of dress that I'm actively picking up right now just because it doesn't perform very well for me. And then on Poshmark on the 31st, the last sale that I had from sending out offers that day was this pair of Urban Outfitters Kimchi Blue striped embroidered pleated jeans in a women's size 4. Kimchi Blue is one of the house brands that is part of the Urban Outfitters kind of larger umbrella brand. It's similar to Anthropologie. Anthropologie has brands like Maeve and Pilcrow and other ones that I just can't think of right now for some reason. And Urban Outfitters has brands like Kimchi Blue. Literally can't think of another Urban Outfitters house brand off the top of my head. If you I feel like I see outlines of tags and I just cannot. Let me know down in the comments below, what are some popular Urban Outfitters house brands? My brain stopped working in the 104 heat that it is today. There's like a heat index outside. It's crazy. These pants I thought were so cool. And I had seen comps when I picked them up for super high. I think like $75, $100 or something. So I got so excited when I saw these at Plato's Closet. I paid the $16 that these were priced
because I'm crazy,
and priced them at like $100 or $75 or something like that. Nobody wanted these for that much. These pants are crazy. They're cool, but they're crazy. It's, there needs to be a very specific buyer to see these and want these and wear these, and I couldn't find that buyer for the longest time. I purchased these at Plato's Closet in July of 2022. I eventually finally sold them on on July 31st of 2024 for $30, and my net profit was $8. So I did not know what it was doing. Urban Outfitters, generally speaking, you don't need to pay $16 to pick up an item from that brand unless it's something spectacular, which this just was not. Thank you to the sponsor of today's video, which is FlexiSpot. FlexiSpot sent me this wonderful C5 foam chair for me to build and show you. I am going to put it in my bedroom office space. I have like a little desk here. Very excited to have a brand new chair to take the place of my old dining room chair, to be honest with you. So thank you again to FlexiSpot for sponsoring this portion of the video. I don't know why it was so important for me to try and put this chair together all by myself, but I'm pretty proud because I was able to do it. But very thankful to FlexiSpot for partnering with me for a second time. The first time I partnered with them, I was sent a standing desk, which I use in my shipping area in my basement, and this time a chair that, like I said, I'm using in my bedroom office area where I like to just do work in a more well-lit and well-ventilated space than my basement. But I'm literally sitting in the chair right now as I film this voice memo, and it is so comfortable. It's such a nicer spot to do work in now, and I'm just so thankful to FlexiSpot for sending it out to me. So that took us to the end of July, and then on August 1st, which was a Thursday, I had one residual sale from sending out offers before on Poshmark, and that was a pair of frame Lehigh skinny crop light wash jeans in a women's size 28. They had slits at the ankles, and these actually sold for $24, and I was pretty happy with that because in general, general, it's a little bit harder for me right now to move my skinny jeans. I don't feel like I have that many left, but anything that I have, I just know I have to let go of them for a lot less because less people are buying skinny jeans right now. Those I had picked up earlier this year in January at Clothes Mentor, and so I had $6.90 into them, and my net profit was $12.30. And then moving into the next day, which was August 2nd, a Friday, on Mercari, I had my second Mercari sale of the week. I think that was it from Mercari, but it was this pair of Big Star Remy, that was the style name, low-rise denim stretch jean shorts in a women's size 30. Those actually sold for $16, and as you know, on Mercari, there are no fees, and so I made a profit of $16. Now, that was something that a coworker of mine had given me as part of a consignment deal, so I gave her 40% of that profit, which was $6.40, and my net profit was $9.60. Those I had listed for like a decent amount of time, maybe at least a year. I think Big Star can do really well. Maybe this just isn't a very popular style of shorts. And then on the second, I also had an eBay sale. This was still part of, the 40% off sale that I was running, or maybe at this point it was 50% off. It was 50% off at this point. So no, it was 40. And then on eBay, I had another sale that was a result of the 40% off sale that I was running, and it was this pair of Skechers Stamina Cutback Sport Gray Lace-Up sneakers for men in a size 9. Those sold on eBay for $16.79, and I had also picked those up in 2021 at the Goodwill outlet in Indianapolis, just so long ago. I guess this video honestly should have been titled, Getting Rid of Clothes That I Sourced 3 years ago. Like, this is wild. I only had $1.27 into those. That was my average cost of goods when I went shopping at the bins. I probably just had these priced way too high, and that's why they were not selling, because honestly, Skechers are a great brand. They're one of my bread and butter shoe brands for sure. I just think I was being greedy with these and just had them listed, like I said, too high. My net profit on those was $15.25. And then on August 3rd, which was a Saturday, this is when I was offering 50% off, I believe, on eBay. I sold this pair of new with tags Chico's Ultimate Fit Linen Blend Capri pants in a women's size 8. That's the equivalent of Chico size 1 because they use vanity sizing. Those sold for $15. I had $2.52 into them from a local consignment store during their birthday sale, and so my net profit on that was $8.94. Not the greatest sale considering that those were new with tags, but thankfully that one I had only held on for 2 years versus 3. So there you go. And then also on the third on eBay, I think this was a result of my 50% off sale as well. It was this Tahari ASL Luxe Mint Green Metallic Collarless Evening Jacket in a women's size 4. This my mother-in-law gave to me before she moved, and she just had all this stuff that she was trying to get rid of. So this was part of all the stuff that she gave me. The blazer sold for $24.99. It was promoted at 3% as well. I didn't have any money into it because she gave it to me for free to resell. And so my net profit was $22.01, which was amazing. And that one sold pretty fast. Like, I think I only had that one listed for a couple of months. Like, I feel like I definitely listed that this summer and then it sold this summer, which was surprising because I don't know, I don't think I have a lot of experience with Tahari and just didn't know that it could do that. So that was cool. Also on the third on Poshmark, I had a really great sale. It was this new with tags Princess Polly Tara, that was the style name, green ruched bodycon mini dress. I put the word fairy core in the listing title, and it was in a women's size 2. That one I had picked up just earlier in the summer in June at the Goodwill outlet in LA. That one I only had $2 into because I got it at the bins, and it sold for $35, and so my net profit was $26. That was exciting to me for a few reasons. One, I had so little into it, and it was something that I sourced while on vacation, which is always fun. But furthermore, Princess Polly is not a brand that you think of when you're trying to think of brands that sell really quickly, that sell for good money. Princess Polly is kind of whatever. It's a little fast fashion-y. It's not like the nicest materials. But I was excited about this sale because I picked it up solely based on style and the fact that it was new with tags. This very much reminded me of the fairy core aesthetic. And because it was so fairy core and new with tags, I was like, yeah, I'll just try it. I'm at the bins. why not? So it was exciting to make a style-based sale. And that's something that I talk about in my how to sell bread and butter brands for more money video. I'll link that down below. I talk in that video about how oftentimes, even if the brand is kind of whatever, like it's not super exciting, it's not a brand that typically makes you a lot of money, if the style is on point, if it's a trend that people are really excited about, if you can put a word in the listing title that people are actually using to search for clothing for in the search bar of a reselling platform, like if people literally search things like fairy core dress, or if they search for terms like cottage core top, you know what I mean? Like if those are terms that people are using to search, then chances are your item might show up even though the brand may be less than desirable. So I was excited to take a chance on that and then to have that chance pay off pretty handsomely, I thought. Furthermore, I feel like the retail price of that dress, if I'm not mistaken, was like, it was definitely under $70, I want to say. So the fact that I was able to get someone to pay more than half of what it, sold for retail, I thought that was pretty cool. So win for me. Next sale, not so much of a win. It was very much of a, but also good because I've had this forever. So also on the 3rd of August on eBay, I sold this Maxell. Do you remember this brand? I don't even know if this brand does anything anymore, if this company does anything anymore. I'm a 90s baby, so I was all about cassette tapes, and then we graduated to CDs and stuff like that. But I remember having these cassette tapes, making my mixtapes in my house with my boombox, like listening to the radio, and when a song that I like came on, hitting record and then listening back to the song. That's what we had to do back in the day. And so I had found all these cassette tapes by Maxell. I don't even know if I'm saying that right. Maxell? I don't know. But I basically had a case with a set of 10 still wrapped cassette tapes. And I was like, oh, I've landed on a gold mine. And I listed them. And then 3 years later, someone was like, sure, I will give you $5.99 for your pack of 10 cassette tapes. And that's what we did. He gave me $5.99 plus shipping, and I made a net profit of $6.14 because I charged a little bit more for shipping than what it ended up costing, which is great. Love when that happens. Usually I'm right at about how much I have to pay for shipping. Sometimes I undercharge the person, so it all balances out. This time I charged a little bit too much for shipping, but also he got 10 brand new cassette tapes for $6. So there you go. And then on the 4th of August, which was a Sunday, and my best friend's birthday, happy birthday, Jane, on Poshmark, I sold this pair of J. Crew Factory blue and white striped seersucker Bermuda shorts in a women's size 2. I got these, 3-4 years ago in a reseller buyout, same reseller buyout that I've been talking about. So I had $3.92 into them. They sold on Poshmark for $17, and I was extremely happy because maybe just like a month earlier, they had sold for even less than that, I believe, on eBay, and the person didn't like how they fit. So they ended up returning them. And so I'm happy that even though I've had these forever, that when I relisted it, it didn't take that long to resell. And this time my net profit was $9.68. Still not a phenomenal sale, but we made some money on it and we moved on with our lives. And then the last sale that I'll talk about in today's video, also on the 4th of August, was over on eBay, and it was this Title IX blue lined swim skirt in a women's size extra small. That was something that I got from a reseller buyout for $2, different reseller buyout. It sold for $11 on eBay. That was an offer that someone sent me. I was so happy to accept it because at this point, that reseller buyout, I think it was like 3 years ago, and so my net profit was $10.64. So that is everything that sold in the span of 2 weeks. Again, I think the first week of sales that I talked about in today's video was while I was still actively traveling, but I had started turning a vacation mode off on all of my different platforms because I was now in that window where I could make sales and still ship things to people in a timely manner. And I also decided to, be a little more aggressive about making sales by sending good offers, by running sales, and it helped. It wasn't fantastic. There are rarely weeks in the summertime that are fantastic when it comes to sales, but I made more sales than I had, in the 2 weeks before this. And I sold a lot of really old, stale listings, which always feels really good. So here are my numbers for the week. On Mercari, I sold 2 items for a gross sales amount of $23.50. I had $11.40 into those items, and so my net profit on Mercari was $12.10. And then on eBay, I sold 6 items for a gross sales amount of $131.86. I had $6.79 into those items, and my net profit on eBay was $74.03. Finally, on Poshmark, I sold 8 items for a gross sales amount of $225. I had $48.16 into those items, and my net profit was $130.89. For these 2 weeks, I sold 16 items and I had a gross sales amount of $380.36. I paid $66.35 for those items. That was my cost of goods. And so my net profit on those 16 items was $217.02. It's $217 that I'm extremely thankful for. Some of that was made while I was still on vacation with my family, and it's $217 that I didn't have before selling through those items. So I get it. I've seen a lot of comments from a lot of you in the comment section of videos, especially the last one, just saying, man, summer is so hard, and especially this summer is so hard. Sales have been so rough. They've been so bad. There have been so many returns. I get it. I am feeling it. It is hard times. And while if you are similar to me and sell used clothing on reselling platforms, Q4 is not as good for us as it is for people who are selling things like electronics and collectibles and toys, because generally that's what people are buying in Q4 for gifts and things like that. They're not usually looking for used Talbot's pants. That being said, I think in Q4, people are just kind of conditioned to shop more in general. So some tips that I would have for you just to help you kick your reselling business in the butt a little bit is if you have any new with tags items, prioritize those. If you have any fall items, obviously, like fall and winter, prioritize those. You can probably just save your summer stuff for later. Maybe save it for, next February or March when you start listing your spring and summer items, or just list them after you've listed through all of your fall and winter gear. If you have any hard goods laying around your house that you feel like might make good gifts, maybe gifts that you've received that you don't want, or you're just kind of decluttering, those would be great things to sell. But just keep doing the dang thing. I think a lot of times it's harder to be motivated to list and to relist and to send offers and run sales when you feel like there's no fruit to your labor. And I totally get that. But here is me trying to motivate you to just stick with it, because there are people out there who want to buy the things that you have for sale. They cannot buy those things if they're not listed. And you can only help yourself if you are doing the things that you should be doing as a reseller, like relisting stale listings, which is honestly the reason why a lot of these stale listings sold, is because I relisted them many times. Relist your stale listings, run sales, send really great offers on items that you just need to get rid of. Do those things and you will see an uptick. Maybe not to the level that you want, but things will get better, I promise. So that is it for today's video. Thank you so much for watching. Stay positive. I know it's tough, but hang in there. I believe in you. And let's just commit to one another that all we're going to do is our best. That's all we can give. And if that's what you've given, go to bed tonight proud of yourself, and know that I'm proud of you as well. So thank you guys so much for watching, and I will see you guys in the next one. Bye.